Good morning, everyone. Hi, Fiona here from Core Confidence. If you've at all been watching Kate and I for the last 20 minutes, you know that we've had all sorts of tech issues around being able to connect together this morning. Facebook has changed another setting and it means we just can't invite each other easily. So for this morning, you just get me. So we thought what we'd talk about today, and so what I will end up talking about is having the confidence to set boundaries. And this has been a really interesting conversation. It's been coming up in lots of coaching conversations. It's been coming up actually for men and women. Not surprising at this time of year. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of things, a lot of people want to see stuff finished before Christmas and, just upping the ante. We've got usually a lot of family connections, a lot of things we have to do. And it's the time of year when we start to really see how pressured we are and how much we have on our plate, and we start to get to make some choices around that. And so we thought it would be really good to talk about having the confidence to set boundaries, having the courage and the confidence to set boundaries. And it's really interesting because a lot of the people we've been talking to have done really well with their careers. So their careers are going super well, on fire. They've got promotions, they've got opportunities, they're in projects, there's really cool stuff happening. However, it's become too big. There's so much going on in the workplace. There's so much demand there that it means the rest of their life is really out of kilter. And this whole work-life balance conversation keeps coming up, and people are, they're exhausted. They love their work and they're doing a great job there. And they also know that they want it to be sustainable. How do we stop on this treadmill that leads to burnout? How do we actually deal with that? So a lot of what we've been doing in coaching conversations and just generally in workshops and with people is getting them to get clear about what they need to say yes to and what they can say no to. And that's a really good choice. From a boundaries point of view, we cannot say yes to everything. Whenever we're saying yes to one thing, it means somewhere in our life we're having to say no to something else. Being mindful of our capacity and what that means, that's the next step to actually making life joyful, sustainable. We're not overly pressured. We know that we've got this and we can do whatever needs to be done. And, one of the things that we're encouraging people to do is to know that they've done enough, that they don't have to keep taking on more and more. They don't have to say yes to everything in the workplace, that they can actually go and they can feedback and say, yes, I'm excited about that opportunity you're offering me and that looks really cool and I'd like to do that. However, I've got these other 3 or 4 things that are also demanding. Which of these is less important so I can prioritize this one over here? And we're really encouraging people to sort of test the water and get a real feel for, from an organizational point of view, or they're with their leader, what is it that I actually have to do and is most meaningful and most significant at this moment and will have the most impact from a business point of view. But what are the 2 or 3 things that actually they're not as important? And I can actually go, I can either put those aside, perhaps we'll deal with them in January, perhaps not. But making those choices and getting clear means we've then got space to do some of the other things that are also important. And having the time to, get those conversations in, go to a networking event, get some exercise, get outdoors. We know, bathing in nature, such a big thing now. Just reconnecting with ourselves. All of these things are really, really crucial to keeping us fit, vital, healthy over the long term. So if you're, in one of these times, if at the moment you're really feeling like, wow, everything's coming at you and you just don't know what to do, take a moment, get clear about what you need to do both at work and in your personal life that's important to sustaining you over the long term. Once you know that, then go back and look at the work situation and decide what it is you can and can't do. The more clarity you have, the more you're prepared to speak up. One of the big things we say is ask for help. If you're in slight overwhelm, if you're doing too much, Who can you talk to about this? Who can you have a good conversation with? How can you get some help so that you're not completely overwhelmed and feeling as though you have to do more than is, in good exchange with your organization just to meet the requirements. We really, this is a real calibration piece, and we really, we're excited when we see people have the confidence and the courage to have these conversations and to know that, you know what, I'm doing enough. It'll be okay. Over the long term, over time, I can absolutely meet the requirements of this role, do what's expected of me, and I can also look after myself. We shared a great post this week around, self-care is not a one-off thing. It's not something that we need to get to the end of the line and, I'm so exhausted. Oh, now I can get some time for me. Self-care is something we need to program into our lives as much as possible every single day, and certainly have instances of that throughout our week. And when we do that, we bring more vitality, more joy, more fun to work, and we're able to do everything in a more sustainable way. So, we'll be back on with you a few more times, and certainly over the Christmas break. We know that's a time when people have a little bit more space and they can listen in and share and talk about things. If you've got any questions about this, how do I manage work-life balance? How do I get the courage and confidence to really, figure this out and get some clarity? We're really happy to take those questions. Pop them in the comments below. If you don't have a copy of the book Core Confidence yet, go to the website coreconfidence.com.au. You can download a chapter and see if that's something that speaks to you and you'd like to get a taste for it. We're also excited now because you can buy the book in audio format and also ebook for those people who prefer that. So great to see everyone. Great to be back, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the coming weeks. Take care.